Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's your boy Matt the Amateur Gamer, and I'm coming at you with a Let's Talk on this very cold Friday night, November 15th. And as you see, AQ has started. Alliance Wars are nobody cares anymore because the seasons are over. And on today's Let's Talk, I wanted to talk about Sentry. I was going to mainly do the video on Sentry, but since the whole compensation notice debacle and rewards that we got, I had thought I'd make it about that as well. So I'll split my time between Sentry and that. And what I really want to talk about with Sentry is that Sentry to me needs some love. In the comics, he's supposed to be the superhero with the power like a million exploding suns or something like that, and instead he hits like a wet noodle or a man with bread for hands. And so to me, he really needs a good buff. I know they've already buffed him once, but that was with synergies. And to me, looking at the synergies, his best one to me is maybe the Fear of the Void and the Hulk. But even then, he still doesn't hit really hard. And I'm not really sure. I haven't seen very many videos on how to power him up if he is supposed to hit harder. But even with then, he doesn't hit harder. And what sucks is, he might hit hard for one fight, and then and then it doesn't carry over. Like for say Aegon, and then you go into another fight, and you have to redo it all over again, get his power up, and make sure he hits harder. And I mean, even then, it's just really annoying that he doesn't do more damage and that you can't take him through more content than what you can. He should be on like Hyperion's level as a character in this game, because that's what he is in the comics. To me, at least, he's on like Hyperion's level, maybe the same level as Blue Marvel, if you all know who that is. But he's not in this game. In this game, he's just a meh to okay tier champion when he should be a god tier to demigod tier champion. And that really sucks because to me, his design in the game is fantastic. He looks awesome. But when he doesn't hit hard and nobody uses him, he doesn't get any love, and so nobody takes him through anything, and so there's no gameplay on him. The only gameplay that I ever see on him is people that have a 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, 6-star version of him, taking him through arena, and that's it. He's mainly just there for points, I guess you could say. And that shouldn't be the case. He should be able to go through pretty much all of the content or most of the content, or he should be a champ that you want on your team to take through difficult content, but he's not. And I think he would be pretty cool to have on a team with like Hyperion, because Hyperion and him kind of remind me of Superman, and it'd be cool to have like two Supermen on your team that are different classes. But again, you can, and what's weird is that his counterpart in the game, Void. If you have a 5-star or even a 6-star, which most people don't have it in Awakened 6-star Void. If you get his signature level up to 200, the Void can do some really amazing stuff and do some really amazing damage. Heal reversal, fatigue, and just other debuffs against the champion. And it's really cool how he's set up. But it's like they started with him, and then when they got to the Sentry, they just kind of quit and gave up halfway. And they're like, he looks good, but he's going to hit like crap. And the answer that they gave us about, I don't know if it was at the beginning of this year or if it was last year, about, these synergies are all we're going to do for Sentry for buff-wise. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to buff him up. That's a nonsense answer. That is a BS answer, and it shouldn't even be that way. And I mean, he does have some pretty decent synergies, but they're not, like I said, they're not good enough to take him into content and then crush content with him, which is ridiculous, because he should be above everybody, and he should be able to crush content no matter what. And the fact that he just kind of sits there in your roster and just kind of looks dumb, and he just looks dumb. I mean, what am I supposed to do with a Sentry when I get him as a 5-star? Just let him sit there, use him for arena? I mean, I'd like to take him through content, but I mean, if I can't do anything with him, what's the point? And I mean, and you know, kabam, you know, already made their minds up, said that they won't, but this is I guess, a voice or I don't know what you want to call it, to kabam, please buff this champion. He should be one of the champions that y'all want to buff, just because of his champion design, but also because in the comics he hits so much harder than what he does in this game. I don't know if y'all have read or seen the comic World War Hulk, I think it's called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's World War Hulk, where he pretty much him and the Hulk, who is at his World Breaker form, get into a fight because the Hulk is pretty much taking out everybody, the Avengers, the X-Men, all the combined might, and they pretty much get into a fight and they depower each other. The Sentry becomes depowered, and then the Sentry depowers the Hulk because they fight each other to a standstill, which is amazing. So he should be on par with the Hulk. OG or Gladiator, doesn't matter. He should be on par with the Hulk and be able to do the exact same things and hit as hard as the Hulk should. But again, for some reason, Kabam put him in the game and he doesn't. It's just another one of those champions where Kabam was like, oh, you know, we're going to put this amazing character in the game, but we're not going to let him, we're going to make him hit like a child or a man with bread hands, or, you know, the champion of 1,000 exploding muffins. I don't know. But, I mean, it's really ridiculous that he's not able to do anything else besides be arena fodder, and that's what really sucks. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense that they have the Void being a really decent champion, even though you have to give him up to level 200. Then you have the Sentry, who doesn't even do an incinerate, doesn't do a poison, doesn't do a bleed or anything. He doesn't do anything, doesn't even do like armor break. So what are you supposed to do with it? And I mean, and it's not like his specials either are that hard to evade. I mean, his special one is that light beam, which again I think should do an incinerate. But I mean, that's, to me, I can evade that all the time, most of the time, if I'm on the ball and all that stuff. And then his special 2 is the Human Torch's special 2, and I mean that his special 2 is easier to evade than Human Torch's special 2, which is ridiculous. But I mean, again, he should do some kind of incinerate. I mean, or he should be immune to something. He should be immune to like poison or bleed or incinerate, but he's not. He's just, you can bleed him, you can poison him, you can put cold snap on him, anything, and it's really dumb. And I'm just not a big fan of it. And yeah, I wish they would do something with him. But Kabam, please in the future buff him. He needs to be buffed, because he's one of those 6 stars. If you pull him as a champ, you're just like, oh god, what am I gonna do with this guy? Should I even level him up with whatever ISO I have, or should I just leave him alone? Which, it shouldn't be that way. He's a really good champ, and I mean, he's a really good comic book character, and he deserves more love, but he's not getting any love. So that's my opinions on him. And now I think we're gonna switch over to the compensation. Hey everybody, now that we're at the compensation part of the video, I kind of want to give you my opinion on this, and my opinion on this is that this is probably the worst worded compensation or worst worded email that I think I've ever seen. When I first saw this in my line chat, I was kind of worried, or I was kind of pissed off, because I had seen pictures of what people got. I'm like, oh, this is prize compensation. Is this for the whole last Friday blackout? And when I read it, I was also myself kind of pissed, because I'm like, wow, you know, for all of last Friday's blackout, I got a bunch of ISO that I can't use to rank up a 5-star or 6-star or hardly a 4-star, and 1 energy for that whole 6 to 8 hour period. I'm like, okay, so this is kind of underwhelming. And so I went back to the Line app and just kind of talked with past and present alliances and see what they got, and they were in the same boat. They were pissed off and all that because all it had really done is claimed your awards that you had not gotten from either last Friday to now. And so everyone was like, well, this isn't much of a compensation because all we were missing was, this amount of shards and all that stuff and or whatever. But someone then sent I guess say kabam forum to the champ, and it was one of the kabam Mike or somebody that explained that this wasn't all the compensation for all of last Friday's blackout. It was just for the unclaimable rewards, and on top of that, that they would only be that they would only be covering like Alliance War rewards, and that's all I saw, which kind of took me back for another like what? Because I mean, Alliance War wasn't the only thing affected. I mean, that was a whole day of questing, like an Alliance quest. Even though they gave us the 30-minute timers for the rest of the Alliance quest, I mean, we still lost a portion of crystals and in our ranking because of the fact that we didn't finish or we weren't able to start a Alliance quest map 6, and the questing for like the event quest, that whole day was lost, and so everybody was behind. And I mean, I'm not one of those that likes to spend units on energy, but if I have to I will. But it kind of didn't really mention much about the actual blackout. I mean, I was kind of taken back as well as this week they didn't send out like an apology letter or email through the kabam forums or through the mail in our game. So I mean, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? I mean, am I just supposed to not care or what? And I mean, this is what my compensation. No, this is what my buddy's compensation was, and pretty much what his exact same thought as mine was. Hey, where, is this all the compensation we're gonna get? For that whole blackout last Friday, and not be able to claim rewards. Well, with that screenshot I was sent, it kind of helped verify that all was kind of, I don't know, not the case, and that today's was part one. But my big thing is that this was really terribly worded, and it shouldn't be that way because they're a 5-year company now, and their PR should be a lot better than this, and they need to know or need to let people know that this is this before they send out a letter saying prize compensation. That way people don't freak out like they did today. But anyway, that's kind of what I took from today's compensation. I mean, I'm kind of not happy with kabam, but I mean, what am I going to do? I play this game anyways. As I say, with this month's side event quest, they took 2 steps forward, but it seems like they've taken 3 to 5 steps backwards. And so I don't know. To me, they're pretty wishy-washy for a mobile device company, mobile gaming app device company, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, if you want to leave a comment on what you thought about, or what's your thoughts about Sentry, and what your thought is about today's compensation, if it should have been handled better, and then if you can, like and subscribe. And I will talk to y'all later. So have a good day, y'all. Peace.